Hey everyone, I'm going to find the distance between two cities, and you get to choose your cities, but I'm going to choose Austin to Little Rock and Houston to Santa Fe. So the first thing I need to do is find the ordered pairs to these, and the best way to do this is I'll go ahead and write them down. Austin, the ordered pair is, so I'll put Austin is -2, -1, and Little Rock is 4, 5, and then I have to also do this one. Houston is 1, -2, so that's Houston, and Santa Fe is -10, 7. Now sometimes it's going to be hard to find the ordered pair, mainly because it's on this map here. So what I did, for example, for Austin, I drew my X I drew up to the X line and to the Y. So this is your X and this is your Y. And then for let's do a big one. Santa Fe. So Santa Fe's right here. I drew down to the X to get -10, and I drew to the Y to get 7. And again, what we're looking for is the distance from Austin to Little Rock here. And again, Little Rock, drew down to get to the X and across to the Y to get the Y. So we're getting that, and we're also getting which one? Houston to Santa Fe. So here's Houston to Santa Fe, and we're finding that distance. We're going to find the midpoint as well, and then we're going to convert to miles. So once we find the distance, we're going to multiply it by 50, and also we're going to find the time. So let's get started. So Austin to Little Rock, again, our ordered pairs were -2, -1, and 4, 5. So I'm going to call this, let me move this down a little bit. I'm going to call this one point 1, and point 2 would be 4, 5. And if I use my index numbers here, this would be x sub 1, y sub 1, and this one would be x sub 2, y sub 2. And then you just fill in the appropriate variables with substitution. So we have 4 minus a -2 squared plus 5 minus a -1 squared, and that equals the square root of 6 squared plus 6 squared. Remember, these both are going to be positive. All right, and then that's the square root of 36 plus 36, which equals square root of 72. 72, and we can break that down as square root of 36 times 2, which equals 6 square root of 2. Now to find the midpoint, we're going to do the same thing. You're merely adding your x's. So, and remember, put parentheses on your midpoint. So you have 4 plus a -2, and you divide that by 2, and then 5 plus a -1 divided by 2. That gives you 2 divided by 2 and 4 divided by 2. And so if you reduce that, you get 1, 2. So that's your midpoint. So from Austin to Little Rock, right in there, the midpoint would be 1, 2, which, let me do it in black, 1, 2, which is right about there. All right. Now we're also doing Houston to Santa Fe. So for Houston, I'll call this point 1. Houston equals 1 comma negative 2, because it's right there. So I just did that right there. Or I did it like that. Let me erase that. Houston, I went up to the X and horizontally to the Y. Right there. Alright. Let me do it in green. So just kind of do that so it crosses your X and your Y. Alright. And then for point 2, that Santa Fe, that was negative 10, comma 7. So this is going to be your X1, Y1. So we want to match our index numbers. This would be X sub 2, Y sub 2. So you plug it in your distance formula. And you're going to get negative 10 minus 1 squared plus 7 minus negative 2 squared. And simplifying this, you get negative 11 squared plus 9 squared. And that's going to equal 121 plus 81. And that gives you the square root of 202. And you can't simplify that. And then for your midpoint, again, you're just adding your x's and dividing by 2. It doesn't really matter the order. Add your y's, divide by 2. And that gives you negative 9 divided by 2 and 5 divided by 2. So this is, if you want to do decimals, that would be negative 4.5. This would be negative 2.5. All right. Now we have to fill in this chart. So our coordinates for Austin were negative 2, negative 1. And Little Rock was 4, comma 5. And for our Houston, that was 1, comma negative 2. And Santa Fe was negative 10, comma 7. So the only thing we have to do is these two. So what you're going to do, and this was actually square root of 72. So these are our units. So that's units. So you multiply that by 50. And we want the nearest whole number. And when you multiply it by 50, you get approximately 710.63. So we're going to round up. So that would be 711 miles. And to get the nearest hour of time, you're going to take 711, divide it by 60, and that gives you 12 hours. Let me just double check that. Let's see if you do 711 divided by 60. It gives you, basically this gives you approximately 11.85. But we want to the nearest hour, so you round up again. And then for this one, you have the square root of 202 times 50. Oops, I mixed these up. So this one was really 711 miles. Sorry about that. And this one was really 12 hours. I was looking at the wrong thing. So this is 711. This was 711 divided by 60. Sorry about that. But I'm not going to redo the video. So let's just start here. Okay, so this one, I'll do it in green here. When you multiply that, you're going to get square root of 72 times 50 is approximately, is approximately 424.26. So you're going to round down. So that's going to be 424 miles. And then you multiply that, 424 times, or divide it, 424 divided by 60, and you get, let's do that, 424 divided by 60 gives you approximately 7.06. So round down again, that's approximately 7 hours. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.